Let's do this. All right, folks, you're live with Lonzo, the Godfather of West Coast hip hop. And today I have another legendary hip hop artist on the line. Right now, we are zooming in live with my man, none other than Dane. What's up, Dane?
What's up, Lonzo? The Godfather.
Hanging out like a baby, trying to stay quarantined and corona free. How they treat you, man?
I'm blessed, man. I'm still in the world with you, man. You know, one moment at a time. One moment at a time.
That's a good thing. Look here, man. My people on my podcast and my YouTube channel, they like the real history of the folks that I interview. So we're gonna go back for a minute and talk about how you got into the game and how you developed your style and all that kind of good stuff. You got a minute for that?
Yeah, let's get it.
All right, man. Tell me how you got started, man.
Oh, man. Well, when I first started, I was an artist, man.
Okay.
When I got into hip hop, I was an artist. I was always into fashion, though. As a young cat, you know, my mom used to take me to Delancey Street. So if anybody know that song, that's how that came about. I used to go to Delancey Street from Brooklyn, New York. It's like a 20-minute train ride on the F train. And we used to go shopping on Delancey Street and get our gabardine cans, our hats, and our leather jackets and things of that sort. And so, you know, as time progressed, you know, I was young then. That's preteen years, you know. But as time progressed, and then like in 78, 79, you know, it was this new thing happening in Brooklyn. It started spreading through the cassette tapes. And we were hearing, you know, Izzy D, Cool Mozy battle. You know, we were hearing the Furious and the Fantastic Five MCs and a whole bunch of these cats on cassette tapes early on. But I wasn't thinking about being in hip hop at the time. I was just an artist. I was a young artist. I was drawing, but I was seeing them tagging on these trains and things of that sort. I never tagged on the train because my mom's, I used to think she was 6 feet tall. She was only 5'3". But she would whip my ass if she ever caught me doing something like that. So I wasn't with that. But anyway, you know, I started as an artist, you know, just drawing and tagging and things of that sort. But when I went to high school in 1979, and hip-hop was really starting to get his legs under him, I thought I was going to be a dancer at one time. So I was trying to pop lock, but only half of my body worked. I could only pop lock with the right side. I couldn't do nothing with the left. But anyway, so in late 79, 80, and at the time, I wasn't really rapping, but, you know, back in the days, you would just recite people's rhymes, you know, how you do it, just input your name and things of that sort. So I wasn't really rapping. But in 79, late 79, early 80, I met a good friend. Back in the day, his name was Ricky D.
Ricky D.
And, I met him in class. We had a substitute teacher that day, and nobody was paying attention to the substitute teacher. And he was in the back of the room banging on the table, and I just slid back there, you know, because I was the cool cat from Brooklyn, you know, and listened to him banging on the tables, and he started rapping about playing poker, and it was almost like the Kenny Rogers joint. You got to know when to hold and know when to fold and joint. And I always asked Rick about this rap, but he says he never remembers it. But it stayed in my mind. It was something. It was a catalyst for me. Okay. So when I heard him tell this story around about poker, I was like, "Yo, I got to be down with that. That's what I'm gonna do if I'm rapping." So me and him became good friends. And after that, I started going home and I started writing a rhyme. My first rhyme I ever wrote was actually the second verse on my debut single, Nightmares.
Okay.
So I had a blonde date with this girl named Anita. The fever's the place I supposed to meet her. So I wrote those first two lines. And I came back the next day. I'm like, yo, Rick, check this out. I had a blonde date with this girl named Anita. The fever's the place I supposed to meet her. He said, yo, Dane, you got a dope voice. And when he said I got a dope voice, that was it. I went home and I wrote the rest of the rhyme. So that whole next few weeks, even through that half of that, through the next part of that year, I just every day I come in with 4 more bars, you know. Had a blonde date with a girl named Anita, the people at the place I said was Anita. So the dead body with a vicious but how did that know she was a marvelous mud? This lady, and next day I had 4 more and 4 more, and that's how I wrote that rhyme. So that was really my introduction into rapping right there. Just writing 4, 2 to 4 bars per night or whatever I could do until I got a full rhyme. And then that was the rhyme I always said all the time until later on in the 80s, at the end of the year, we met Ski, who I took the train with from Brooklyn, and he was a part of the Kango crew. We were called the Kango crew at the time. It was Omega, the Heartbreaker. He was in Brooklyn as well, and he took the train back with me. And then it was Lance Brown. The man Lance Brown, and he lived up in Bronx with Slick Rick. So we formed this little crew because we were just cool, and we dressed fly,
Okay.
So
now you are, man, you're a consummate storyteller, man. What made you take that route, and as opposed to talking a bunch of heads, you told stories that was phenomenal, man. How did you come up with that concept?
Like I said, the first rhyme I wrote was a story rhyme, and everybody was doing the braggadocio type of rap back in the days in hip hop. I wanted to do a braggadocio type thing, but I wanted it to be in a story form. And so my thing was to write stories about myself that made me seem like I was a star before I was a star. You know what I mean? So, that was the way I put myself into the light. And it was a lot of inspiration, though, from Houdini as well. Houdini was a big influence on me because when I wrote my first song, Nightmares, in 1984 is when I actually going to 85. The Haunted House of Rock. You remember that song about Haunted House of Rock? Well, yeah. So I wanted to write something like that song, not that song. And I figured I had to put it in my style. So I was a storyteller. So I remember I was out with my boy, Dupree, and we were drinking some Old English and smoking a joint. And I was like, man, I got to write this song. And I was drunk in here. I said, man, it's haunted house. What's haunted? What's haunted? And he's like, nightmares. I was like, yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm gonna write a nightmare. So I had a blonde date with Anita the Beast rhyme. So what I did was just take and started creating a hook. And then I wrote the first rhyme, which was bright one morning I was late for class. Had the pair of frames with Gucci on the glass. So I just took those rhymes and put them together. And of course, Rick was a storytelling rapper. And basically the Kango crew, and we spelled it without the L, Kango, because we always said we not the hat. We do. So it was Lance Brown, Omega the Heartbreaker, Ski, Slick Rick, Ricky D, and me, Dane, and that's all we used to do was sit in the lunchroom and tell these story rhymes. And we had routines. We had like 6, 7 routines. I wish I could remember some of those routines because they was incredible. You know what I mean? But we just used to entertain cats in the lunchroom. That's how it became our thing, just telling story rhymes, because nobody was really doing it like that other than Super Rhyme. If you remember Jimmy Spicer, the original story. I know you know rhymes. I know the original. God bless him, man. God bless Jimmy Spicer. He passed on, but he was the original story rhyme teller to me. And a lot of rappers back in the days always tell story rhymes around Superman, and Lois Lane. That was the thing, Superman and Lois Lane. So we took it out of that realm and really made it about ourselves and what we wanted to do and where we could go with the rhymes.
You was always compared to Slick Rick. Sometimes you was even confused with Slick Rick, man. How did you deal with that?
Oh man, it used to kind of bother me because even though we look alike and we don't, and we sound alike and we don't. But a few years ago, I was talking to his wife. He was on the Tom Joyner boat cruise, right? Okay. And I used to always think that, people always got me confused with Rick. Like, God, man. But it never bothered me because, Rick is like a brother to me. So it was really nothing, Okay. But I was talking to his wife, man, and she said, Dane, you know how many people come up and call Rick Dane? I said, I thought that only happened to me. That was surprising to hear, though. You know what I mean? Okay. But even when people did it, because I'm not I'm not really vain like that. I don't care. You know, I didn't really care. And if you're gonna compare me to someone, it might well be Slick Rick. Come on, he's the greatest of all time, baby. That's my brother.
Man, come on, Doc. I ain't mad at that, Doc. You guys did. You say you guys did the Tom Joyner running cruise. I mean, the cruise together.
Yeah, we've done a Tom Joyner boat cruise about twice, I think. I've been on Tom Joyner boat cruise about 4 or 5 times, and we happened to be on it like twice, me and Rick.
Okay, that's pretty dope, man. How you like doing that, man?
It was cool, man. You know, my wife loved it. You know, you're on the boat for 7 days, and one time I was only there for half the trip, but most of the time I was there for 7 days, and you know, you get to commune with a lot of people and kick it and meet a whole bunch of people and just relax, man, and be on the water.
Hey folks, this is Lonzo, the Godfather of West Coast Hip Hop. And I bet you some of y'all didn't know I had a book out, did you? Well, I do. N.W.A. Not Without Alonzo, available on Amazon.com, $14.95. But also, there is a comic book. Limited edition comic book, Hip Hop Family Tree, featuring yours truly, Lonzo in the middle, Dr. Dre, and Yella. Limited edition, only available on my website, LonzoWilliams.com. Now, if you want both books, the Hip Hop Family Tree and N.W.A., both of them $30. Go to my website, LonzoWilliams.com. In the comments, put your name and what you want me to say. I'll autograph and make sure it gets to your house right away. Both books, $30, autograph. LonzoWilliams.com. Go to my website, LonzoWilliams.com for the comic book, and 2 for the price of 1. $30 for both, autograph sent to your house right away. Peace. Thank you very much, folks.
You dock at different places like Jamaica and Bahamas and Turks and Caicos and, you know, all types of places like that. So we had a good time, man. I think it's real cool.
How many shows you doing a show like on an event like that?
Oh man, let me tell you, it's beautiful, man. They had like a classic hip hop night, 1 show, 1 song. That's it. I've never sung more than one. That's it. I never sung more than 1 song, 1 show, 1 song, and on the boat for 7 days. Which you can't beat that.
Tom, get a brother.
That's right. You need the world-class second crew on it.
Come on, man. Wow, that's pretty dope, man. That's pretty dope. Now we hooked up again, man, recently at over with my man, Mr. Source. Yeah. How'd you guys connect, man?
So, Soren had interviewed me back in the days. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then, full circle when I moved back out here moved back out here in 2014 because I lived here before from 91 to 93ish in Cali. But I moved back here in 2014, and a friend of mine, Tyrone Richardson, Natural Women Photography, he connected us and said, yo, you should hook up with Soren so he can do an interview for you. I think he was working for Hip Hop HD, Hip Hop HDX or whatever they call it. But so we got together and he did a quick interview, and I liked his vibe. He liked my vibe. I said, yo, you know, we got to work together on something. And he said, bet. So I went home that day and I called him the next morning. I said, yo, I got the show. And we developed the show together. It hasn't come, but when we do get together, I'm definitely going to bring you through and let you be a part of the show. We're still working on it. But that's how we got connected, you know, and been working together ever since.
What was your highest point, man, as a hip hop artist, man? The highest point when you felt that you just knew you was there.
My highest point is we were on the Fat Boys tour, the Wipeout tour, the Fat Boys Wipeout tour. So they were the headliners, and it was the Fat Boys, it was Dane, Salt and Pepper, Heavy D and the Boys, 4x4, UTFO, and I'm missing somebody. But anyway, we did that tour for about 6 months or so, and after the tour, that tour ended, they started another tour where I was the headliner.
Oh.
And and it only lasted for a little while because Salt and Pepper blew the hell up off that pushing. But either way, I was the headliner, and I was starting to get paid. Instead of getting paid a flat rate, I was getting paid a rate and a percentage of the door. So I thought that was the win right there, because not only was I making like a $5,000 guarantee, I was making $30,000 above that. You know what I mean? Because we was packing houses and things of that sort, and we were getting a percentage of the gate. So it was like 80. It was like early '88 or somewhere around there. And then right after that, coming off the tour, I got my one and only royalty check from Profile Records. One check was for $76,000 for record sales and $26,000 for publishing. So I'm 20. How old am I? I'm 22 years old, or almost 22, and I got $100,000 like check in one day. And I'm like, I'm on top. And plus, just came off a tour, so I had like almost $1 million in the bank. I had that money. I was on top of the world. I thought, it's the best ever. But of course, I blew that money in like 6 months. It was over.
we got to talk about that too now. Now here we go. Real life. I like keeping it real with folks, man. After all that right there, what was the low point?
Wasted all that money.
All that money.
Wasted all that money. Didn't buy nothing. Didn't have nothing to show for it. Except for partying, hanging, and clothes. You know what I mean? I didn't own anything. Didn't even think about buying a house. Know nothing about buying a house. I came from the projects. We grew up in, little hovels. So, and this is a funny story, too. Because when I came to Cali, because the projects, you live in hovels. You live on top of each other. It's like it's 7 families to a floor, and then it's 13 floors up. You know what I'm saying? So it's like almost like a slave ship, almost, to be honest, but not. But with that said, I lived in a 2-bedroom, and it was me, my sister, my mother, and me and my sister shared a room until I turned to be a teen, and then my mom and my sister shared a room. So anyway, fast forward to me getting money. I didn't know what to do with the money. I just had money to spend. So I'm buying my friends clothes. I'm partying every day. Every time I go to a party, I had to buy some new clothes. I wouldn't wear the same thing. And I had to buy something new. New batteries, new Kango, new suit. Every time I'm buying new clothes, I'm buying out the bar. Before they were talking about buying out the bar, I was, just splurging money. So my lowest point, it was right after that, because I went through a depression after that, because I spent all my money. My sister got hooked up on crack. My best friend died. I had a baby come in, and my career was going down. All this beginning in 89. And then I went to a fucking depression. And I had, it took me away from the whole music game. That's why people are like, what happened to Dane? That's what happened.
What brought you back, man?
What brought me back was my son was turning 2. And he was about to turn 3. He was living in Virginia. I was signed to Rap A Lot Records. So I signed to Rap A Lot Records in 1991 after I left my deal with Profile Records. So I signed to Rap A Lot Records. I'm living in Houston, and I'm going through this depression. I don't have any money. Shout out to Jay Prince, much love to him. He may have known what I was going through. He may not have known what I was going through. But either way, we were good friends at the time. So I moved down to Houston. I lived with him for a little while. Then he set me up with my own place, and I'm in my apartment, and every day I'm waking up crying, going to sleep crying. And my son is in Virginia with his mother, and being raised by another guy. That's driving me crazy right there. I'm like, I can't have that happen because my pops wasn't around. So I'm like, I saw something on TV, and maybe it might have been Oprah or something like that. It's a show like that, and they were talking about depression and how your thoughts activate what you do in the world. So I woke up one morning and said, I'm not going to be a part of this no more. I'm going to make my frame of mind positive. So I started doing this thing, and I still do it to the day, tell you the truth, because when you go through depression, it's like being an addict. You're never over it. You have to keep working at staying positive, and that's what I believe. So anytime I thought or said anything negative, I would erase that with 3 positive thoughts. So if I said, I'm not good enough, I say, you good enough, you're the best, you good enough, you the best. If I thought anything like that, if I said anything negative about a person, like, fake ass, nah, you good people. I had to trick my brain to be positive, because when you go through the depression, everything is wrong. There is no positivity for you. Anything that will go wrong, it's going to go wrong, and your mind is thinking, even if something good happened to you, you thinking, it's not meant for me. I know something gonna fuck up with this. It's gonna take me down a road that I don't want to go. But I had to break out of that tape. It was a mental tape playing in my mind that was saying I wasn't good enough. You know, my wife, she's a coach now, and I just learned this. This saying recently over the last few years, imposter syndrome. Like I was going through imposter syndrome. Like I didn't believe I was worthy of being myself, even though I had done all this good stuff, made these records. People love what I've done. I had inspired so many people, fashion, music, and things of that sort. Oh, matter of fact, that's a lie. I said that I didn't spend my money on anything. That I forgot. You know, I always forget this part of my journey. I owned a clothing shop with Play from Kid and Play. So that's where a lot of my money went, actually. You know, I had a lot of money in '88, and I spent over $250,000 on foreplay, actually. And I lost a lot of money with that because the store only stayed open for about a year and a half, 2 years, and we didn't make any money. You know what I mean? So.
Now I see you working with, you done work with Regina King as well. What was that about?
Well, Regina King, I wrote in 2007. I wrote Cinderella as a script.
Okay.
So I connected with her and I sent it to her, and she liked it and said, "Yo, can I option this screenplay?" So in 2007, 2008, 2009, she was shopping it around. So fast forward to 2016, 17, 18. We're still trying to work together and get the script off the ground, because it takes a long time sometimes to get a script made, but anyway, she was her star was always continuing to rise. Shout out to Regina King, much love to her. And so what happened was I was trying to get some light under me to do get the script made. So I was like, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put out a little blurb and say, Regina King and Dane is working on Fella. It was a bad move. It was a bad move because and I didn't know the way Hollywood play. You don't do that because you put people in a bad position, and if it doesn't happen, they look bad. So I had made a mistake. I had to go back and apologize to Regina for putting out that blurb because it wasn't not true, but it wasn't true either. You know what I mean? Because we hadn't solidified a deal or anything like that. So shout out to Regina King for always showing me love and being respectful and just supporting me from day one. But with that said, it didn't happen. It didn't happen because the script wasn't ready, really, But now I've rewritten the script and it's ready to go. So we are pitching it. Regina's not a part of it right now. She's not a part of it. I'm just doing it myself. But hopefully, once I can get my leg in the door, I'd like to circle back to her and see if she'd like to be a part of it.
That sounds like a wonder, man. That's good news. And you have an interesting life, man. You've been doing a lot of things. It's good to see brothers go through life and still come out smelling good on the other side, man. Because sometimes, my partner always told me, it ain't what you go through, where you stop at. And a lot of
kids, man.
It ain't what you go through, it's where you stop at. So if you just stop through depression, tell them where you might be today. You found a way to cope with it. The money situation. Hey man, I'm back. I'm doing the thing. You married? You got kids?
Yeah, I got a son. I got 2 sons actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. How did it work out with the first son? Y'all connected and everything good?
Oh yeah, my son, Young Dane, Dane MC rather. Not even Young Dane. He changed his name. He's Dane MC. He's a dope rapper.
Okay.
He's incredible. He's got a joint on Spotify. And everywhere you can download it. He got a new project he just put out. The Leftovers Season 1 is the name of it. Dane MC. He's really dope, man. He's a producer, dope writer. He rap and he sing, and he's better than me actually. Yeah. He's been better than me for a long time, actually.
He doing the new generation way.
He ain't doing. He ain't mumbling. He ain't doing none of that mumble stuff. But but he is doing new generation in regards to styles. He got a lot of different styles. He's paving his own way, and he's dope though, man. He's really dope though, man. He's really dope. I'm proud of him.
Cool, man. Where can they find you at, Dana?
At Dana Dane Media. Holler at me at Dana Dane Media across all social media, TikTok, Instagram. What else they got? Facebook, Twitter. Huh?
You on YouTube?
Yeah, YouTube, Dane Media as well. Everything is Dane Media across social media.
You'll find the video on, well, if you're watching it, you already know where to find it at, okay? You can check me out on AlonzoWilliams.com, folks. Dane, much love to you, man. Thank you for taking time out to kick with me today on Zoom right here, folks. I have the legendary storyteller himself, folks, right here, with Lonzo via Zoom, Dane. Much love to you, Dana.
Much love, man. Let's do it again, man. Whenever you're ready, let's do it again, man.
When you're ready for your show, I got you, Doc.
All right. Love, Lonzo.
All right.
Circle.